Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Sam. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I actually just last month hit my 1-year anniversary of being a professional hairstylist, which is pretty cool. So I've been doing tons of videos sharing my experience going through cosmetology school and becoming a hairstylist. I will have a link to that playlist down in the description if you want to go check it out. But in today's video, I wanted to just kind of sit down, super casual, and just tell you guys all about my experience so far in my first year as a hairstylist working in a salon. All of the nitty-gritty details of what you would want to know if you are currently in cosmetology school or you're considering doing hair as a career. Of course, keep in mind my experience is going to vary from yours because it really just depends, especially based on where you live. And one thing that I have really learned about this career is you get out of it what you put into it. So not everyone is going to graduate from beauty school and end up following the same path and end up being equally as successful. If you put in the hard work and effort, you will reap the benefits of that. If you just kind of sit around and like wait for things to happen for you, then your career is not going to grow as quickly. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning, and I'll start with the first job that I had right out of school, which, by the way, in Pennsylvania, the state that I live in, it is actually illegal to booth rent. So my only option really was to freelance and work for myself, go work in a chain salon, or be an employee at a private salon. So I went with the third option. So while I was in cosmetology school, I was actually getting my eyelashes done at this one salon, and the girl who did my lashes, her mom was the owner there, and she knew I was in school. She followed me on Instagram and saw my work, and she had just offered me a job one day and was like, hey, when you graduate, if you don't have another job lined up, we'd love to have you here. So I interviewed with her mom and I got hired on the spot. And I started right away. I had graduated school February 13th. My first day there was the 14th. So right away, I jumped right into it. She gave me my own chair immediately. Not every salon is going to do that. I know a lot of my friends from beauty school, the salons that they're working at required them to do like an assistant program there first, just so that they could train them their own specific way. So depending on the specific salon, some will let you start right away, straight out of school, and just give you your own chair. Others won't. And it was a little nerve-wracking at first because in some ways I felt like I was kind of thrown to the wolves. But at the same time, it was kind of nice because I had already assisted the whole time I was in school. So I kind of felt at that point like ready. Like I didn't want to keep assisting, you know? I was ready to just like dive right in. And that first salon, let me tell you, it was not the right fit for me. And I knew this going into it. Like I knew I wasn't planning on staying there forever, but I did really want to work there because I felt like it'd be a good first job coming right out of school for a few reasons. Number one, it was in a bigger city, like not a huge city, but bigger than the little town that I live in. So it was just in a busier location. It was also a well-established salon. She had been in business for several years. So it was a pretty popular, well-known place. They would constantly get walk-ins and just new random clients that would call and make appointments. So I knew that starting out having no clientele of my own, I would be able to get some clients and get people on my schedule. Also, it wasn't a super high-end salon. It was a little bit more of like a quantity over quality type of place, if you know what I mean. Some of the things they did there were like a little ghetto kinda. But it was good for me first starting out because I didn't feel as much pressure to do everything super perfect. Like their prices weren't super high, and so it almost in some ways felt a little bit like a chain salon in the sense of I could just learn and practice, and if I made mistakes, it wasn't like the end of the world, I guess. Because it wasn't like the bar was set super, super, super high. Maybe that sounds kind of bad, but I mean, you know. I also really wanted to work there because their clientele was very diverse, and in cosmetology school I really didn't feel like we got enough practice and experience working on ethnic hair, like thicker, coarser, curlier hair. All of the clients pretty much that would come in to get service at the salon were white. All of the clients at the salon that I assisted at in school were white. So I wanted some more diversity, and I wanted to learn how to do different hair types. I felt like I didn't want to ever be afraid or not know how to do someone's hair. So starting at that salon, in the beginning, it was definitely rocky. I feel like there was definitely a bit of a learning curve coming right out of school and being in a salon. I went from being in school and feeling pretty confident with what I was doing because I was familiar with all the products, I was familiar with our color line, I knew my teachers were there to help me if I had any questions, and now here I am in a salon and I'm a stylist and I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. And I mean, yeah, I would ask people for help occasionally, but it's not the same as when you're in school. Plus, the clients that come to you in school know that you're a student, and so I feel like, you know, they're more understanding, whereas in a salon, I mean, the customers there are expecting that you just know what you're doing and that you're gonna do a good job. Plus, I was also now working with hair textures that I wasn't as familiar with. So I struggled a little bit at first. I just felt like I just kept having little fuck ups. I mean, I never like fried anyone's hair off or did anything like crazy, but I don't know, like I was never fully satisfied or felt 100% confident with what I was doing, and that was kind of a hard pill to swallow, and it definitely like hurt my pride a little bit. So I had to just learn to kind of step back, not take things personally, learn to take constructive criticism, ask for help. And I definitely had my moments where I was like, oh my God, I suck. Like, I'm a terrible hairstylist. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Oh my God. And I think that's normal. I think a lot of people go through that in their first year, especially in the very, very beginning. If you're going through something similar, don't worry. It's a phase, it'll pass, you'll get through it, and you'll be fine. So the way that it was set up there, the salon was only open 4 days a week, so they were closed Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. So I worked 4 days a week, and at first, they let me pick my hours, and because the salon, by the way, was an hour away from my house, I was like, all right, let me start at 11, because that way, you know, I don't have to get up so early and whatever. But then, like, as time went on, they kept, like, asking me to come in earlier and earlier and earlier, and the next thing I know, they made it, like, mandatory for all stylists to be there from open to close. So that was kind of annoying. But yeah, so I was working 4 days a week from 9 to 7. Honestly, a lot of days I was there later than 7 o'clock. And another thing that was really good about that salon was the way that she paid me. So I was getting 40% commission on the services that I was doing, which is definitely low, but being straight out of school, I was like, okay, whatever, that's fine. And because the prices weren't really that high to begin with, my services cost the same as all of the other stylists there. Some salons I know will do like junior stylist prices, and they'll be a little bit cheaper for new stylists who are less experienced, but I was charging the same thing. So any services I did, I got 40% commission, and then if I didn't have any clients to work on, she gave me the option of getting paid hourly as well. So I would just help out around the salon, help out the front desk, answer the phone, help the other stylists, clean up, things like that. And I would just keep track of what I did and the hours, and then she would pay me, I think it was $9 an hour. So I was able to make a little extra money even when it was slow, when I didn't have anybody, which is great because in the very beginning, when you don't have any clients, there's going to be days you come into work, you have no clients, and you made $0 for the day. So at least that way I was able to make a little extra money here and there. And so the way that she would pay us, it was every week, and I want to say I was making about $300 a week there. I don't think it was ever less than that. And then if I was busier some weeks, I would make more than that, but I don't think I ever really made much more than like maybe $400 a week. That does not include my tips though. So with tips, obviously it was a little bit more, but I want to say I never made more than like $500 a week there. Because again, I was just starting out, and also like even though there were walk-ins there, the prices of services weren't really that high. Another thing, they did a lot of Groupons there, and with those, I believe Groupon takes 50% of the service, and then after the salon would take their percentage, I was only getting like barely anything for those damn Groupon customers, which was so annoying. I hated the fact that they did that. And at that salon, they offered a whole bunch of services. When I started there, I told them right off the bat, I like doing hair. That is my main passion and my main focus. That's what I'm good at. That's what I want to do. I have no interest in any of these other things. But while I was there, I was doing hair, but I also was doing makeup, which I don't mind doing. And honestly, we didn't really get makeup people that often. And then she had me doing nails a lot. And it honestly got to a point where I was doing more nails than I was doing hair. And 99% of the mani-pedis I was doing were all Grouponers. So at the end, like I'd spend an hour and a half doing a mani-pedi on someone to only make like $7 for the service. Like, that's fucking less than minimum wage. What the hell is that shit? So yeah, needless to say, I started to get burnt out pretty quickly there. And it just like, I don't know, I felt, in the beginning it was great because I was like, oh my god, I'm a hairstylist now, I'm working in a salon, this is so cool, I get to actually like do hair. But then it just like, it's like the conditions just started to get worse and worse and worse the longer I was there, and I just started to really get sick of it. I started to get to a point where I was resenting my job. I dreaded going in. I hated being there. So I knew that I needed to start looking for another job at that point. So a friend of mine who actually I met through my beauty school, she was a substitute teacher there actually. She lives in the same town as me, and she had posted that the salon she was at was hiring. So I was like, this is perfect, because I was also really getting tired of that damn commute. Like, I was spending 2 hours every day in the car just driving back and forth, had to fill my gas tank every single week. Like, it was just getting to be too much. So I went there, I met her boss, got an interview. A few days later, she messaged me and offered me the job. And so I made sure that at my first job, I gave them a 2-week notice. I made sure that I left on good terms. I kept it very professional. Especially in this industry, people talk and everyone seems to know everyone. It's a huge community, but at the same time, it's very small. So you never want to burn bridges in this industry. So I made sure I left on good terms. And then I started at the second salon, which is where I'm currently at now. So the first salon I started mid-February and I left at the end of May, and then the first week of June I started at my current salon. So I wasn't at the first one for very long. So there were some big differences right away from this new salon compared to the first one. Number one, it was located in my hometown, which is a very small town. So yes, it was great because now I only have like a 10-minute commute instead of an hour, but I was nervous because it's a small town, you know, and people here don't really have the money to be going out and getting their hair done and spending a lot on it all the time. Plus this salon, it was smaller. It was just me, the boss, and one other stylist, and it wasn't as established. It had only been in business, I think, for a year by the time I had started. And also it wasn't located in an area with a lot of foot traffic, so I knew that we weren't going to be getting any walk-ins. And no one really like knew about the salon. Plus this area is very competitive. We have a shit ton of salons. So I knew that I was gonna have to work really hard to build a clientele on my own. I wasn't gonna be able to just rely on people coming in off the streets on their own. However, the atmosphere, the vibe, everything just felt so much better. I just felt like I fit in there more. I could be myself. Also, they used the same color line that I used at school, so I was familiar with that, and I just felt like I could be a much better stylist there. Also, my boss now is huge on education. She actually has an online subscription to Behind the Chair, which is a website where they post online classes and tutorials every month, and I have access to that, so I can go on anytime I want, whenever I have free time, and take as many online classes as I want, which is great. And she's actually sent me to a few in-person classes too, and this weekend actually the two of us are going and we're taking 2 classes, and I'm so excited. So the way that things are set up at this salon, she is open 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, and the hours are kind of varied. What's nice is, especially now that I've been there for a while, I have my own key, and so I can kind of just make my own hours. I can kind of come and go as I want, which is really awesome. But when I first started, because I didn't have any clients, what we decided was I was gonna only work part-time. So I was doing 4 days a week, only 5 hours at a time. So I was only working 20 hours a week. And she offered to pay me a salary, which was amazing. So again, another opportunity for me to make money even when I was sitting around and had no clients to work on. And what we had agreed on was I was gonna get $200 a week, which equated to $10 an hour. And then if I had a busier week where I had a lot of clients, I could get 50% commission on those services. So whichever ended up being more at the end of the week, either my 50% or the $200, that's what I would get. So it was really nice because there were definitely weeks in the beginning where I didn't have a single client all week. And so rather than making $0, I at least made $200, which I mean isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing at all. When I didn't have clients, I would go sit in the back, I would take an online class, I would practice stuff on mannequin. She would let me also bring in models. I could do their hair for free and I could just practice whatever I wanted on them, which was awesome. Again, she's just so big into education, and I honestly, just within like the first month or two of being at this salon, I had grown so much and learned so much. As time went on, I was slowly building my clientele and getting a little bit busier and busier. I will do a separate video, by the way, telling you guys how I grew my clientele. And then this past November, I decided that I wanted to start doing eyelash extensions. I knew I had wanted to do them forever, but it just felt like the right time. So my boss sent me to go get certified. She paid for my class and I just dove right into that. I have a vlog, by the way, if you guys are interested in getting certified, you have any questions, I answer pretty much everything you need to know in that video, so I'll put that in the description as well. And then once I opened my book for everyone for lashes, oh my god, it like blew up and I started to get so busy. So at that point, I decided to change my hours and we changed the way I was getting paid. I no longer needed to do the salary because my 50% commission was way more. So now I'm getting paid every other week. I get 50% commission on all the services that I do, and then of course I get, you know, tips on top of that. So my boss pays for all of our education, all of the classes that we go to take, any supplies that we need, everything from my lashes, and I did increase my hours, so I'm still only doing 4 days a week. For the most part, I work about 30 hours a week. Some weeks it's more than that, but that's just the schedule that I like to do. I like having 3 days off. I'm also not a morning person, so the earliest that I start is 10 o'clock. And then if I feel like coming in on my day off and taking a client here or there, I can do so. And we also have a scheduling app, so all of our scheduling is done online. So I can go in and I have full access to my own schedule, which I did not have at the first salon. So now at this point that I'm super busy and like pretty much completely booked up, I get about $500 a week on average. Some weeks it's more than that, some weeks it's slightly less, but I never really make significantly less than that. And some weeks I make like 700 or a little bit more, not including my tips. Including tips and after taxes, I'm making about 30 to 35K annually. The job that I had right out of college with my degree, I was making the same amount of money. So considering that I am doing what I love, I'm not even working full-time technically, I'm making just as much as I was at my full-time Monday through Friday 9 to 5 desk job, is pretty damn awesome. So yes, it's not a huge amount of money, and yes, when I was in cosmetology school, I moved back in with my parents. I'm still living here today. I could move out and support myself financially if I wanted to, but I know I would be kind of pushing it and living paycheck to paycheck, which I don't want to do. Your girl's got loans she's got to pay off. I want to save up money. The first year is supposed to be the worst. It's going to be the most difficult. You're still learning and you're still growing your clientele, and you know, you're not gonna come straight out of school and just immediately start making money. It's really one of those fields where you have to work hard, and it's different for every single individual person. But I have high expectations for myself. I have goals, and I remember when I was in beauty school, we actually had this guest speaker come in, and he was saying that if 5 years into this industry, you're not making 6 figures, that is your own fault. That's on you. You're doing something wrong. And I know stylists who live even just in my area, like not even celebrity people in LA, like just regular people that do hair that make 6 figures annually. And if they can do it, I know that I can do it. I think I'm on the right track. I think that it's a stereotype that hairstylists are dumb and they make no money, and it's really not like a lucrative, successful career. I just have to point out the reality of it though. I know this is like a very popular industry for people to get into recently, and I think people look at it and think it's so glamorous. However, it is tiring. It takes a toll on you physically, because when I'm doing hair, I'm standing and I'm on my feet all day long, or if I'm doing lashes, I'm sitting and I'm hunched over. And by the end of the day, like, I'm tired, and I'm usually a mess, especially if it's been a really busy, crazy day. My makeup is melting off, my hair's a mess, I got color on me. Oh, it's starting to fade a little bit. I had a big color stain on my arm for the last few days. Like, your hands are gonna get all gross, your nails are gonna be messed up. Your job is to make your client, the person in your chair, feel glamorous and beautiful and amazing. It's not about you and you looking good and feeling good. And you don't get like a 30-minute lunch break to go sit down and enjoy a meal. Like, you're lucky if you have 5 minutes to run to the back and just scarf down whatever you can find. If you even can find a second to go to the bathroom and pee, you're lucky some days. Keep in mind too, like, you're in the service industry. You have to deal with some people that are just fucking assholes. So you really, really, truly need to love this, and you need to be passionate about it and really care about people and your clients and making them feel good in order to stick with this in the long haul. Because if you don't truly love it, you will get burnt out pretty quickly, trust me. But at the same time, it's pretty awesome. You have so much flexibility, like I said, as long as you're in the right type of salon where they let you choose your hours. I went from sitting behind a desk and being miserable every single day, dreading going to work, to now loving what I do. And like, even when I'm done with my shift for the day, sometimes I will still just hang out and like talk to my boss's clients or whatever, because I just love being there. I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm at work. I really honestly look forward to it every day, and I love what I do so much, and I don't regret for a second changing careers and doing this, because it's truly, honestly, the best decision I ever made, hands down, in my life. So that has been my experience my first year as a hairstylist. I'm definitely doing more videos for this series, so if you have any specific topics that you want me to address or any specific questions, leave those down in the comments, and make sure you go check out that cosmetology playlist. Like I mentioned, it'll be in the description, just in case you want to know about a topic that I already made a video about. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. I would really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.